All right, guys. Put me over here. All right. All right, so it's Safari Day, and in honor of Safari Day, I'm rocking the cheetah, and we are representing from 2A. So if you part of 2A, it's like you're living in an alternate dimension. What just happened? I don't know. But I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna look at these questions. So we just took a quizzes, and for this one, number one, the correct answer is all of the above. Now I'll talk about why that's true. Yeah, I'm just recording the screen, so that way you guys can watch this later. Honestly, in some of my classes, I just need to do this the whole time because some of the classes they don't even like you guys participate a decent amount. Some of you are really good at it, but the other classes not as much. So I'm just going to start doing this more often. Anyways, to multiply terms of a multi-step equation. So all of these are true, and when we do the problems with the fractions, you guys will see why. So it gets the fractions out of there. I know some of your guys' brains go to TV static. Shout out who said that, AM for that. But fractions scare people. Like 3 out of 2 people can't do fractions. Integer coefficients, integers are just numbers, and when they're plain numbers, they're easier to work with, and it tends to make the equation easier. So if you don't have to, though, so that's important to know that you don't have to do that. So make sure you guys are dropping, like, commenting so I can respond to your needs while I'm doing this. What is the least common multiple? And I appreciate that. I appreciate the participation. So I'm going to write this one out. Can I copy and paste this? Lagging a little bit. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's not what I want. Hang on. All right, here we go. So for this problem, it asks what the least common multiple is, LCM. Do you guys know what the LCM is? Least common multiple. So what you want to do is you want to look at 2 over 5, 3 over 4, and 3 over 5 and figure out, yes, what's the lowest number they can go into. Yep, exactly. So what I would do is I'm looking at the denominators, right? So you got 2 over 5, 3 over 4, 3 over 5. So I'm asking myself, how can I get rid of the 5 and the 4? What is the least common multiple of 5 and 4? It's 20. Yep. So I would multiply everything. I'd multiply this whole equation by a dub. Let's do this. Now, here is why I always tell you guys to put the whole equation in parentheses, because if you only pick and choose what you're going to multiply with, you're going to break stuff. So we're going to multiply everything by 20. And the reason to do that is to get rid of the fractions, because you guys hate fractions, so I'm helping you exterminate them. So what we're going to do is remember that you multiply fractions, you go straight across. Numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. So you can make this into a fraction if that helps you visually. You can turn this 8 into a fraction also by making it over 1. All I'm doing right now is turning things into fractions to help me know how to multiply them. So I'm going to multiply the 20 by 2 and get 40. I'm going to multiply the 1 by 5 and get 5. I'm going to drop the x. I'm going to distribute that 20. So I'm going to do 20 times 3, which is 60. 1 times 4, which is 4. Bring the equal sign down. I know, you did. You dropped. I'm going to pause before I go to the right-hand side. If there's any questions, comment down below or comment in my chat box. Is this going to be on the quiz? I mean, probably one day, eventually, yeah. It'll probably show up in your life at some point. That's probably the better way to think about it. I really try not to give you guys anything that I don't consider useless. I think I said that as a double negative. I did. You're welcome. So left-hand side's good. Right-hand side, we distribute. 3 times 20 is 60. 1 times 5 is 5. NH says, hi, YouTube. Pretty sure. Yeah, I just responded to an old comment that you had dropped on there. So here's what we got. I distributed the 20, and you're like, but you said all these fractions will go away. They're going to, because you can do 40 divided by 5 and get 8. 60 divided by 4 and get 15. 60 divided by 5 and get 12. And 160 divided by 1. Oh, I forgot. I dropped the x. My bad. And get 160. At this point, this is just an equation that you can solve, right? You can subtract 8x on both sides. You can subtract 160 on both sides and divide and be done. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to get to the next question. So if you guys have questions about this, let me know. Can somebody let me know when it's like 10:55 so I don't keep going too long? Let me find the next question. Okay. This is cool. I love problems like this. I really do. Like if we were in class, there's this thing I do. It's like pass the problem, and like I give you guys a problem, and I have one person do the first step, and then pass it, and then the next person do the next step, and it's super dope. But we can't do that now. Thanks, Corona. If you look right here, now that we just did the problem that we just did, think about what we just did. So I'm gonna go back real quick. You see how we multiplied to clear the fraction. So look at what we did here. Look at your notes for that, and now look at this problem. What we did in the last problem was try to get rid of the fraction. So we're dividing by 5, and that's the only fraction. So we can just multiply by 5. Exactly. So what they did is they just magically got rid of the fraction. They didn't do any math. They did math magic, and we don't do that. We follow the rules. Unless you're a witch. You can do whatever you want. So what I would do is multiply by 5 everything. Multiply everything by 5, because that's how you actually get rid of the fraction. So you would get 1x, but you would also get 6 times 5, which is 30. You would get 3x, but you would also get 5 times 5, which is 25. So this 6 should be a 30 if you're taking notes at home, kids. And this 5 would be a 25. And then the last 3 steps, this is all wrong. Everything below that's wrong because they did the wrong thing. Does that help? I was gonna order some cheetah print glasses one day, and I regret that I didn't do it. Zenny, I got like 20 pairs of glasses. I'm gonna try to get Zenny to sponsor me, and then I could just make a video with like 1,000,000 pairs of glasses. All right. Okay. We'll revisit that later if we need to, but compare this to the last problem, and it should make sense. Let's keep moving. These are just numbers, guys. Decimals are numbers too. Fractions are numbers too. Treat them fairly. They just are out here looking for love too. I am personally not going to promo that IG account, but if you want to comment later on my stuff and self-promote yourself, go for it. Now, when you get me that intro song, I will definitely name drop you. So that's the trade-off. You get me an intro song or a beat, it can even be a beat. And low-key, if I like the song, I'll try dropping you 16 on it. Fun fact, when I was in 6th grade, we had what was it, like a TV production class. And back then, everyone wanted to be a rapper, including myself. So we had like a freestyle rap battle on like a TV show, and I won. So, fun fact. Right, let's do this one together. Bruh. What am I doing? This thing's glitching. Okay. Rap about equations. So, I have this like, I have not built up the like, I don't even know what the word confident is the right word. I have not built it up in myself to do this, but I have like a halfway written song about graphing that I started writing like 2 years ago. I think it might be correct. I don't know. It's just like, it's embarrassing. Like, I guess, like people that do that, I feel like they do it and they take themselves seriously, and I would want to do it, but I would want people to know that I'm not being serious, you know? So I have one, and it's actually, I think it's going to be fantastic. I have like a whole idea of like a music video for it, but I just haven't got myself to do it yet. One day. And there's like a Drake song that came out a long time ago. It's like, I like all my exes with 2 lines through that. Like I was going to use that about equations because that's how you solve equations. I've got a lot of ideas. It's just about making them happen. All right. So, anyways, 12.5 minus 4g equals, you see my equals, my train tracks, negative 2g minus 3.5. If you get 500 subs, okay, I'll take that. I'll start working on it. I can get Noah to help produce it. We're going to add 4g on both sides because we got negative 4g, negative 2g. I like moving the smaller of the two, and negative 4g is smaller than negative 2g. So I'm going to add 4g on both sides. We got to get rid of the 4G because we got 5G now. And 5G causes corona. That is not true. That's what people that watch too much news think. So 12.5 equals 2G minus 3.5. We have to isolate the variable. We want to get the G by itself. And just because this has decimals doesn't mean it's treated any different. So we have to undo subtraction via addition. And we're adding 3.5. And maybe your brain like literally sucks at this. But this is just money. And y'all better be good with your money or people are going to take you out your pockets. So this is like $12.50 and $3.50. If you add that together, you get 16 bucks. Okay? Hopefully y'all following. And then it's just a one-step equation. Divide by 2, and we get G equals 8. Game, set, match. You could do 12.5 first. I personally always try to do the variable stuff first, but the beautiful thing about equations is you could move the 3.5, you could move the negative 2g. It doesn't matter as long as you end up with g equals 8. So as long as I can see your work and you get the right answer, I'm cool with it. Hopefully you guys are still good out there. 2A. Shout out my 2A class. You guys got back-to-back YouTube videos. You're special. Nobody else told you you're special today. You're special because you're in a 2A class. Let's do this one. Yes. I gotta move my head. It's in the way. All right. Again, guys. I mean, I'll take a beat first. There's another student. His initials are AR. He's in one of my other classes. He gave me some beats. Thanks for the update on time. I'm gonna try to get through one of the word problems. He gave me a couple beats that I used in some of my videos. If you look, I shouted them out. So whatever. So for this one, guys, I would personally, Marilyn Manson dancing, put you in a trancing. I don't know. I would personally either convert this to 2/4R, or I would just clear the fractions by least common multiple. So what is the least common multiple here? Well, everything. No, not at all. I am pretty good at words though. Like I haven't been doing it lately, but like I feel like I got a poetic soul in me. I would multiply everything by 4 or multiply everything by 4/1, and because then it'll clear everything out. So if you do that, you would get 1 times 4, which is 4, over 4, right? And then here you get 1 times 4, which is 4, and then 2 times 1 is 2. Can you guys see that blue? It's really bright. It's kind of hurting my eyeballs. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. 1 times 4r is 4, and then throw the r there. The r could be with the 12. It could be on the side. Just don't put it in the denominator. That wouldn't be right. And then if you simplify, 4 divided by 4 is 1, minus 2, and that's negative 3r. And I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop at this point because y'all, oh, dang, I lost an r. My bad. You guys should be able to do this. I would personally, I'm going to break my own suggestion here. Normally, I would move this negative 3r because it's smaller, but because that would create extra steps, I would move the negative 2r. Add 2r, you get negative 1r equals 1. Divide by negative 1, you get negative 1 as your answer. And I know I talk really fast, but you can turn the YouTube speed down a little bit. All right, let's get to the word problem and before we got to wrap this. That's simple. That's I don't want to say simple because that's a little insulting. This one I would multiply by 15. Yes, try to catch up. Okay. So for this problem, again, you guys, if you're under the age of 20, you probably have never paid for songs like this. It's outdated. But you're the good thing about equations is you can use it to make real life comparisons as to what is better, what's going to save you money. And this is where we're going to start focusing our time on as we go forward. So you have one site that charges a $15 membership fee. Now, when you pay a membership fee, you pay that regardless, right? Like you pay the fee before you, and I see your question. I'll answer that. You pay your fee before you even download a song. So make sure you recognize that it's got to be just $15. So yes and no. Multiplying by the reciprocal. If you have the same number across the board, you can use the reciprocal. Not even the reciprocal, just the denominator. Multiply just the denominator. But if you have like 5, 10, 15, you would need to find the LCM, the least common multiple. So either use the denominator or the LCM. And when you multiply it out, if you still don't have all integers, you did something wrong and you can just multiply again. Okay, so the first one is $15 and then 50 cents per song. Do you know how many songs you're going to download at this point in time? No. So that's probably going to be a variable, right? The second website has no membership fee. So you don't got to pay nothing up front, but you pay more per song. Cool. Do it. Send me them beats and then we can eat. 80 cents per song. And again, you don't know how many songs. So that is probably your variable because on both of these sentences, the per song is the thing we don't know. What equation could be used to find the number of songs for the two sites would charge the same amount? Now, why does that even matter? Well, if you estimate, I'm going to download 10 songs, I'm going to download 100 songs. There's probably a better, they're not a probably, there is a mathematical way to figure out which one will be better for you. And this is true, like, if you're hiring someone to shovel your snow, should you pay them every time or on a seasonal contract? For insurance, if should you pay every month or should you pay the season? Like, there's so many ways to figure this out. So if you look at this, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it to Kami real quick and do this, and then we're going to wrap it because it's time for my 2A class, which is so far the GOAT class for YouTube because you guys keep ending up on my YouTube videos. Oh, this is messy. Let's do this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to write equations, and then we already have pretty much, I'm going to say that you guys know how to solve equations, even though some of you are still struggling. You know how to solve equations. We have to write. So we have to write one equation and then two equations. And we're going to set them equal because we want to know at how many songs are they the same. So first thing first, I have to say, okay, this is my variable, right? My per song. We have to define the variable. So we could say X equals number of songs downloaded because that is the thing that we're actually looking at. And I know we're at time. Just hang out for a minute, guys. So you're going to write the first equation. So it's $15 membership fee. That's just $15. It's just something you pay no matter what. And then it's 50 cents per song. So 50 times the number of songs. That's what your variable is, and we don't know what that is yet. The second equation is no membership fee, so it causes, I could put a 0, but I mean, if I asked you how much money you got or how many boyfriends or girlfriends you got, you all have 0. You don't write it, so it's going to be 0.80x, 80 cents per song. Now, the question was, let me the verbiage. What equation could be used to find the number of songs for the two sites charge the same amount? So we set them equal. Now, this doesn't tell you right now which one, but what you can do, and I'll do that quickly with you, is solve it, because I think that's what the next question was, right? Was how many songs to make it equal. If you subtract 50.50x from both sides, and I'm going to need someone with a calculator out there to do some math for me. Can somebody do 0.3? 15 divided by 0.3. It should make 15 bigger. I'm thinking it's 45, but can somebody confirm that for me? This is how I solve this equation, right? Those would simplify to 1, and we would get x equals a number. It's 50. Thank you. So what does that mean? that means at 50 songs, they cost the same. And shout out Mr. Hansen's amazing handwriting. So that means at 50 songs, they cost the same. But the real question, like as a consumer, and this is something you can actually do in your life, if you're going to download less than 50 songs, which one should you get? This one, because you don't have to pay this $15 up front. If you're going to download more than 50 songs, which one should you get? This one, because it's going to cost more. But if you download a lot of songs, you get this one. So if you look at like phone data, how it works, if you get unlimited versus not unlimited, costs more. But if it's charging you by gig and you're a heavy data user and you use 20 gigs and they're going to smack you at $10, $15 a gig after a certain point, you got to know your data usage. So in conclusion, for this Safari Day, I feel like this was a very, very powerful lesson. We did a lot of stuff that we haven't really talked about. And look at that. There's the answer. We're going to more of this in the future. So YouTube, I'll see you later. Let me stop recording real quick. Hit that subscribe button. Shout out to A